Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to do a tier list of the weapons in CB. Mainly because I did one to the end of last season, and we've been in this season, Sengoku, for a little while now. Just about to go into the tier 5s. But I thought it might be time for a little weapon ranking list, just to see where weapons are at, in my opinion. By the way, this is my opinion. This doesn't mean I'm right. This just is how I feel currently when I'm playing. For you, as let's say you're playing a longsword or a maul, you might feel very differently about this list. But for me, that I'm playing a short bow this season, this is just where I come in with my kind of little bit of general knowledge about the game. This is where I think the list goes, but it is from my opinion. Just to get that out the way. So we are going to start off with Chain Dart. Chain Dart, I think, is going to be in all right. I think currently as the assassin, this is a bit of a spoiler alert. Currently as an assassin, I think it's the best assassin out of the two. But we'll get into that in the next one. Yep, damage is seeming pretty good. I mean, this is, again, I'm playing from a short bow, so they can take me out like that. So, yeah, it's just the hardest one. But then they might be having a different experience against heavies. Like, for me as a short bow, heavies, I basically might as well be, giving them a massage. But nonetheless, I feel like they're strong, and in this sort of, as a light armor, I think they might be the strongest light armor class at the moment. Fortunately, unfortunately, but we'll see what happens in the past. I'll make another one at the end of the season, another tier list, and then we can see if it kind of matches up to this one. Okay, following to short swords. You know what? I'm not seeing that many short swords. I definitely see one in a game or two in a game, but I'm seeing much more long swords. I feel like long swords, the tankiness is there, and the utility is so much better. And I think the damage is actually slightly better on a longsword as well. Yeah, the utility's better. Do you know what? I did this last time, and I think people are gonna get annoyed about it. But I'm putting short sword in meh. I just don't see that many of them anymore. I see a lot more longswords. So, glaive, the big boy glaive. I'm gonna put it. I've seen, like, when someone picks it up that's really good, like Gabba, but he's got a YouTube channel. If you've ever seen a good montage, that's probably Gabba. Yeah, go give him a sub if you can. He would really appreciate it. Yes, but anyway, glaive in the right hands. Obviously, any of these classes in the right hands would be good, but glaive in the right hands can be very good. But I know have talked to him about it, and he's been a bit like, yeah, it's missing a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna put it in. We're gonna put it in meh, but what we'll do is we're gonna shove it ahead of short sword. I think we're gonna put it in there. And meh isn't bad. Meh's like middle of the pack. It's just like, yeah, it's okay, it works. All right is like, and best is best. So pike, I've seen a few pikes coming in. They are just trying to, again, a good pike is really, really strong, and a bad pike is just, well, basically does it ult and then ults himself into units and kills them. And gets himself killed even. So, yeah, we're going to put that here, but ahead of the short sword there. But then again, take in mind that this pike in the right hand can be up here. Yeah, it can be up here. So, but my experience so far is there, but I feel like it could be here, could be there somewhere. But yeah, again, it relies on someone being very good at it. Bow, I haven't seen that many, and I don't think it's got the same sort of power as last season. But we'll see when obviously the extra not set bonus, we got the set bonuses, the rolled bonuses on your armor, once they come in on your weapons and armor, potentially bow will be moving its way up. But for now, for where we are now, this is where we're going with that. We're going to go in terrible. I just don't see it doing what it did last season. Last season it was strong. I feel this season not so much, not yet anyway. But again, as I said, this is why I'm doing the list now, and I'm going to release it once I'm done this. Is because this is the first half of the season where we've had like we've got our set bonuses, but we don't have any of our like crafted bonuses. So then I'm going to do another one at the end of the season when we have had everything, and then we can see how this list changes. So, but this is just for where we are at now. Dual blades. I hate to do this. It's there. It's there. I just don't think. I think the problem is that throughout the last few seasons, it's relied very, very heavily on the shuriken throw. With all the shuriken runes, the reduced cooldown, the extra range, the 30% increased damage, the damage reduction, stopping everything from doing damage around you, or 15% less, I think it is, or was. And I think the nerf to ambush a while back has just ruined this new thing that, the new playstyle they're making you do without the shuriken, or the old playstyle that they've now reintroduced. It's very complicated, but basically ambush doesn't do enough damage to make it worthwhile. You basically rely on your ult to do any sort of decent damage. It's in a tough time. That's why I've said like Chain Dart is definitely the best assassin at the moment compared to dual blades. But yeah, any dual blades left in the chat? That's stream. That's Twitch. In the comments. Yeah, let me know how you're finding it, because I haven't played it this season, so I'm just going off what I've had when I've been against them. Musket, I imagine I'm going to put Musket in all right up here. It's been quite good, but imagine it's going to start falling off as we get the tier 5s in, as that burn is not going to do too much. But yeah, Musket's been pretty solid. Like, I've seen Muskets with getting on like 200 kills. But again, it takes a patient playstyle for someone to want to play Musket, and you've got to have your aim in. You've got to have your aim going. So I think it's good though. It's good, and I don't know why. As a short bow, I can struggle quite heavily against a Musket. They can like 2-tap me, get me on the ground with that with the black powder grenade, and then yeah, a good Musket just and I'm dead. It's great. But I feel like they're doing all right. I would probably put them down at the head of this, but I'm going to put them up here because good. But this will go down, I reckon, as we go into the next thing. Yeah, it's gonna go down to probably meh. But as it stands currently, right there. Short bow. Short bow. Right. I want to put this in terrible because you don't bring anything to the party. I'm going to put it at the head of terrible, like leading into meh, and then I'm going to leave dual blades there. So this is basically leading into behind here. It has moments of greatness, like any weapon. When it goes right, it goes really right. But the majority of play with it, it's just like, yeah, it's good. I think it's because the heavy armor meta at the moment. You don't do any damage to them really. You're relying on doing a steel tip and then landing your another shot to poison. But then the problem with the poison, and I think any short bow is going to agree with me on this. The problem with the poison, it goes on a percentage health, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but I wish it would stay. So if I shoot them at 100% health, that whole poison does the 100% health until they drop down, and then my next one goes from, let's say, 70% health, but it doesn't like go. So it starts, so let's say 100% health, and that you poison them for 300, then it'd be like 270, 240, 230, and it goes down as it goes along, and you're like, yeah, basically what I'm saying, what it means is when you get someone down to 10% health or like 20% health, your poisons do nothing. That basically means you as a class do absolutely nothing. So it'd be quite nice if it was just a kind of a set value that once you've done it at that health, that is or just rework it so it actually does just a normal, like it doesn't work off percentage, or I don't know, just something. It's kind of, it's annoying is what it is. It's annoying. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put it there, unfortunately. As much as I'm enjoying playing it, I love it. It's really, really good. But I just don't think there's just other things you can be doing. There's other more useful, apart from killing peasants. Killing peasants on towers, perfect. Nadachi. I am going to put Nadachi, and this is probably going to get flamed in the chat, but I'm going to put it in best. This season so far, Nadachis have been slaughtering. I had the new Onomoshu out, and a Nadachi took on the entire thing on his own. Like, it was just me, my Onomoshu, him on his own. And he killed my entire unit of Onomoshu. It was actually impressive. I wasn't actually doing anything to him because I was like, oh my god, he's doing it. He's doing it. But it's not going to be number one best. We're going to pull it back when we put some other stuff in here. So, yeah, Nadachi's doing great. It was unsurprising. This is Nadachi's season. We've got the legendary Nadachi that's just come out. That looks awesome. So I think that's good. I mean, it's going to be interesting when we get other stuff up here. I'd be interested to hear what Nadachis think. This is just like when I go against Nadachi, I sometimes feel, especially as a short bow, I inhibit myself sometimes by bringing my units there, because if I do any damage to him, he's like, right, to the unit, heal, back to me, kill my unit. But that might just because I've come against quite good Nadachis. But yeah, as a general, there's a lot of them about. Moving on to Poleaxe. Poleaxe is up here, and I would say here, like that. Poleaxe is really, really good this season, especially if you have the epic schematic armor. But that's a different list. So we're going to ignore the epic schematic armor, because otherwise a lot of these would change around in places. So we'll ignore that. But Poleaxe, nonetheless, very, very good this season. Got some solid runes. And yeah, I like it as a sort of as a not support, but as someone that actually makes things happen in a game. I feel like Poleaxe is at the top tier of that, like makes things go ahead, and that brings us on to another guy that makes things happen. I'm putting this here and this there. Longsword. I think Longsword is literally one of the best classes in the game. It is the utility. Okay, the damage isn't great. But the utility, the like plays you can make if you coordinate your units with things you do. Like, I didn't actually know this till I read the Mercy of Heaven and the Knightly Valor. Mercy of Heaven reduces damage taken by like 30% or something for 3 seconds, and then it does an additional thing for the next like 6 seconds. Someone will correct me in the comments, but something like that. And then Knightly Valor does the same, but with penetration. And I'm like, damn, if you coordinate your units with that, and you've got your shield charge, your sealed class of shields or whatever it is, you do that smash opening, and then do it. I just think the coordination is really, really good. So yeah. Longsword is top tier at the moment. Spear. I haven't seen that many spears. I would want to put it in dogship, but I don't know, and I literally haven't seen enough of them to even grate it in that. So I'm going to put it in terrible. Yeah. I don't know. You'll have to tell me in the comments, because I'm actually just thinking I've even forgot Spear was in the game for a bit then. Spear, yeah, it's going in terrible considering I haven't seen it. I guess it's probably struggling a bit. Did I ever see one? Can't even remember the last time I fought against a Spear, to be honest. Well, there we go. That's Spear. And then on to the Maul. The Maul, we're going to shove them in here. Let's try and do that there. Maul, of course. Maul, number one, will always be number one until they lose the immunity with the spin, or whatever. It's just so crazy. Thing is, mauls on their own, a single maul is like really strong. But you put 2 of those bastards or 3 of them together, then it's over. If they're working in a pack. In fact, in working a pack, these 3 right here, these are sort of lone warriors. These guys are lone warriors. The Ndachis, they look after themselves. But you put maul, poleaxe, and a longsword in a pack. These guys change the game. Like they are the things that get things done. Like if you are off on the other side of the map, and then you're like, oh, the team's not doing anything, and then you see one of their points get taken, these are normally the guys doing it. And you're like, oh, wow, our team is doing something. It will normally be these guys. Because just the domination of these. But yeah, as I was saying, you put 3 to 2 mauls together, and they know how to play. And it's your unit's dead. 2 of those guys coming in spinning will wipe a lot. So maul is still the best. Still salty about maul being as good as it is. Yeah. I would love to be putting like Nadachi up at top or like Glaive up at the top. But as it stands, I mean, the one good thing is we've got no dog shit pending spear. Potentially dual blades could go into that, to be fair. Should I move dual blades down to that? I feel like I might. I have experience with dual blades, and this season I know is not panning out great for them. Via your ult, like it's the worst thing as a class. Sorry, I've gone off the maul tangent. I'm going onto the dual blades tangent. The worst thing about how like a class with an ult like that annoyed me is I hate just relying on my ult. You know, if you can only kill someone with your ult, well, most of the time, if in a 1v1, then it feels hard. It feels like it just doesn't feel good. And I think this season especially, you are reliant on Mark for Death, and that's if you don't kill them or you get knocked off with Mark of Death, your ambush isn't doing enough damage to do it. You can't rely on that throw. Like in obviously last season with Shuriken Toss, you had like you could do like 6,000-7,000 damage per throw on a 3.5 second cooldown, and you would bleed them for 300 a tick for 3 seconds. You would slow them by 50%. You reduce their damage by 15. Like the buffs, the bonuses you got from throwing at someone was so high. And most of the time when I was playing dual blades, I would just literally stand back, throw, kick them, maybe chuck in an ult, run back, throw. I would just rely on the throw. That was to kill people, and it worked. It was so easy. You would just throw maybe 3 times at them, and then you ult them and it's dead. But at least you're doing something else. Where this one nowadays, I mean, I'm not saying I want the throw one back. I just think the ambush needs to be up in damage to make this new or the old style viable again. And the cooldown of the ambush needs to be taken away. You need to be able to go like Infiltrator, Vapors, you know, jump off horse, stealth. You need to be able to go bam, 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 bam with those. So anyway, enough of the rant. That's my list. I know I'm going to get some shit in the comments, like always, with a tier list. But again, as I said, this is coming from my point of view. You'll have probably a very different list to me. So, yeah. That's it, gentlemen, ladies. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one.